It started when I was in prison. So let's go back to the beginning.
Mm,
My dad did a whole lot of time in prison. He did 20 years. So I didn't have a dad growing up.
mhm,
So I was raised by the streets. So I ended up going to prison and doing 8 years in federal and state prison because of the dumb choices that I made. And one day, my son came to visit me in the exact same prison that I visited my dad at. And that was the day that changed my life. When I went back to my cell that night, I broke down and I cried.
yeah.
So if I didn't change, he would be in the same exact prison.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Investor Fuel Podcast. I am your host today, Skylar Bird, and today I am joined by Donald Hinton. Donald is a real estate investor, has a very interesting backstory, and it's really a story of how you can absolutely turn your life around and use real estate to do it. So, Donald, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, let's kind of dive right into everything. Can you tell our listeners here kind of a little bit about your backstory and how you actually came into real estate?
Well, it started when I was in prison. So let's go back to the beginning.
Mm,
My dad did a whole lot of time in prison. He did 20 years. So I didn't have a dad growing up.
mhm,
So I was raised by the streets, the typical urban lifestyle. And by being raised by the streets, you end up in those same situations. You're a product of your environment, right? That's what I love to tell people. You literally a product of your environment. So I ended up going to prison and doing 8 years in federal and state prison because of the dumb choices that I made. And while I was in prison, I was a hustler when I was out. So while I was in prison, I ran a store. A store is when you buy honey buns and sodas and sell them back to other inmates on consignment or with stamps and other things. So I ran a store and I saved my money through working and going to a store. And one day, my son came to visit me in the exact same prison that I visited my dad at. So this was Oxford, Wisconsin, and that was the day that changed my life. When I went back to my cell that night, I broke down and I cried. And I won't lie, like I was in prison for 3 years at that time, and he came to visit me all the time. But in this particular prison, it was just like a mind blowing experience because he's visited me in the exact same spot where I visited my dad at.
yeah.
So if I didn't change, he would be in the same exact prison. So after that, I
Wow.
got back to my cell. I threw away all of the James Pattersons. I got away from the TV and I started educating myself on anything that could help me become a better person.
Mhm.
So I picked up the Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I picked up investing books about the stock market, anything. Took all of the classes that they offered. And when I got out, I went to a completely different city. I went to Davenport, Iowa. That's where I'm from. That's where I'm at now.
Mhm.
And
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
while there, I had $10,000 saved from when I was in prison. So I went to a completely different city to change my environment. So that previous environment had made me into who I was. So I had to go to a completely different environment to become a different person.
Smart.
So I went there, didn't know nobody, and only thing I had was the $10,000 in my pocket. So only person I knew was my landlord, and I asked him if he wanted to sell a property, and he ended up selling me a duplex. So I lived in one, and my tenant paid the mortgage on it. I think I had to come out of my pocket like $200, but he sold it on to me 4 months after I got out of prison.
Yeah.
So he sold his seller financing, a lease option,
Mhm.
things like that. And he gave me 3 years to come up with the rest of the money. So I ended up working my job for the 3 years, and I refinanced it and ended up saving more money, buying another one. And 5 years later, now I'm on my 19th unit.
That's an excellent story. I mean, it's inspirational. I mean, I can say that's not the place my head would be at, trying to get into real estate in that way. And when we talked before, I was kind of wondering how you were able to purchase the original property, but doing seller
Yeah.
financing, that's awesome. That's a great way to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so tell me, like, when you were in, like, why did real estate stand out to you? Why did that catch your interest to begin with?
I think it's because that was like, it was basically like the life I was living, right? I think I had in my mind flipping properties probably,
Hmm.
but understanding like real estate is 90% of all millionaires own real estate. So they know something that we don't know, right?
Hmm.
So I think I went in initially trying to flip properties, but when I learned about like cash flow, like appreciation and things like that, it was like, hold up, maybe I need to hold these properties and not pay taxes and all of this stuff. So it was just like from the previous life, just understanding hustling. So it was just a same concept, just a different product.
Absolutely. So I know you've got 19 properties now.
Hmm.
Have you, in the past, have you had you tried to, do the fix and flip, or have you always just kind of bought and hold and not sold any at this point?
Yeah, that's a good question. Since then, I sold one. I tried to do a fix and flip,
Hmm.
and it was my third property. So I bought the duplex. I ended up buying another one that had equity. I took the equity and bought a little rundown one, and then I lost. So I thought I knew what I was doing, and I didn't know. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, when you think you know everything,
Yeah.
and then get socked in the face because you don't know nothing. But I ended up selling that one because I didn't know where to find capital to fix up the property. I didn't know that you could, use the credit cards. I didn't have
Mhm.
no $50,000 line of credit nowhere. So it
Yeah.
was just things I didn't know yet. So I ended up selling it at a little bit of a loss. But since then, I just been holding them.
Oh. So when you were getting started, did you have anybody that was helping you at the time, or were you just trying to figure everything out on your own as you went?
Yeah, I was bumping my head, figuring it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did that go for you? I mean, because it can be a lot to take in, if when you're new to it, and if you don't have anybody to really, bounce ideas off of or steer you in the right direction, how did you manage that?
See, I think the reason why I clicked it so quick when I got out was because I sat in a cell for 5 years studying it.
Hmm.
So if you study something repetitively, your 10,000 hours, if you keep on studying something,
Hmm.
then you really can't go wrong. So what I would do was I was in the cell looking in the newspaper
Hmm.
for properties for sale.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And I was in Kentucky, so I don't know the prices of real estate in Kentucky or the
Yeah.
rents or nothing like that. So I would ask the guys from Kentucky, "Hey, what you pay for your rent? How big is it? Where is it at?" And I would look in the newspaper for these properties and be like, "Okay, so if it's this, calculate this mortgage. All right, I could do this." So I think that's the repetitiveness you need. So whenever an opportunity presented itself, it was just like a no-brainer. He wanted $1,000 a month for the
Hmm.
property, and I had to pay, and the tenant was paying 750, and they was already in there.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, this
Yeah.
no-brainer. Let's go.
There you go, man. I love that. That's ingenuity, right?
Yeah,
And
man.
that's taking it upon yourself and just figuring it out. That's excellent. I love
Yeah.
it. And where have you been concentrating? What part of the country have you been operating in?
So I'm in the Quad Cities. So this is Iowa and Illinois. So three
Okay.
of my units is in Iowa and the rest is in Illinois.
Okay. Excellent. And I know when we were talking beforehand, you're looking to switch into a little bit different business model. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Okay, that's a good segue.
Yeah.
So while while I was on this run,
Hmm.
I ended up like getting a conscious like, man, people need to know this stuff. So it was like the same community that I was killing before prison is the same community that I can help now if they just know something different.
Hmm.
So what happened was I ended up getting in trouble. I called a DUI,
Hmm.
and I was on my third property at that time. So I was about to lose everything because of this DUI. I go back to jail for 7 years, but by the grace of God, I got 30 days in jail.
Oh,
And
wow.
during that 30 days, I got sober and I ended up writing a book. My book is called From Prison to Properties. And in this book, I just wrote down like the simple things that I knew about real estate, like assets and liabilities, what's inflation, things like that.
Mhm.
So by me writing this book is like, man, I got to teach people this stuff. So I ended up getting off of probation and just things started coming through and there's some private prison reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we love your story. You should come in and talk to these guys."
Hmm.
So then I started going into prisons across the country, speaking to guys about real estate. And that was whenever I wanted to pivot. So I have all these properties. Now I can get these guys somewhere to stay when they get out of prison. So my next path is about to be opening up group homes slash halfway houses for these guys when they come home. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm in the process of putting together right now as we speak.
Nah, that's awesome, man. And I think it's a really interesting sector to try to really be in here because um, I know there's different ways that you can kind of work with the state as well. And tell me about that because I'm not quite sure how it all works.
Okay, so like when you open a halfway house, like you can't get funding from nobody at first, but
Mhm.
once they see that you have a halfway house or a group home, sober living opened already, and that you have residents in there for 6 months, then you can start applying for the grants and stuff like that. So you have to be registered with NAR, the National Association of Residential Recovery, and then it's all over, it's nationwide. So once you register with them and they see that you up to code and all of this stuff, now you can start applying for these grants to have them pay for it. But initially, the people that's coming out of jail trying to get sober, they have to pay out of their pocket. So I'm trying to work on seeing about that, so they friends and family won't have to pay for them.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Okay. Nice. Absolutely. So in what kind of properties are you looking for, for the transitional housing here? Are they kind of just single family homes? Do
Mhm.
they do they have to be in certain neighborhoods? What does that look like?
So what I'm about to do is I'm about to turn the actual duplex, the first one that I bought. I
Hmm.
still live in it, mind you. Matter of fact,
Okay.
I want to turn that into the first one, because that's just like a full circle moment. Like, this is where I came when I first started. So
Yeah.
this is where people about to come to get their life right. So that's kind of like what I'm gonna do. But in the future, it'll be like single family, like big 3 or 4 bedroom houses with
Hmm.
a couple of beds.
Nice. Awesome. And if, if all goes well, are you going to look to expand out into different parts of the country? Are you going to stay right there in the Midwest? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's going, I think mostly in the Midwest. That's where, houses are cheap, rent
Hmm.
is low, it's affordable. I know I can make some real money in, Florida and all of this stuff, but that's not my market. So I just stick with what you know, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me ask you, when you started this whole, property journey here and buying properties, becoming a landlord, what are some of the pitfalls that you can tell everybody about and maybe hope or help other people avoid?
Um, it's yeah, I got my head bumped a couple times. So
Yeah.
one thing to avoid is like moving too fast. I it's been it was 3 years when I got all of my properties. I had 15 in 3 years, so I moved way too fast.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
just move slow. Don't overwhelm yourself, because if something go wrong, it's going wrong, and it could take down everything.
Sure,
Just go
absolutely.
slow.
So let me ask, what are some things that you look for that can go wrong, that can really derail you?
Some things that can and will go wrong is big expensive, like your furnace, um, anything like that. A bad tenant,
Hmm.
furnaces, those is $5,000 expenses. If a tenant don't pay for 3 months,
Hmm.
if she don't pay the first month, you give her a chance. The second month, now you got to evict her. She might not get out for 3 months, and then she trashed your place. That's a $5,000 expense right now.
Yeah.
Right, a furnace, $5,000. I had a big old plumbing issue that was $13,000. So these expenses can add up quick and
Hmm.
take from all of your cash flow. So here in the Midwest, you don't cash flow. I mean, you cash flow enough, but it's maybe two, three, $400 a door.
Hmm.
So if a $4,000 expense come, you lost all of your profit for the year.
Absolutely. So so as far as, the properties that you've been looking at that you've acquired so far, had they already had tenants in them or were they empty at the time and you had to fill them? What did that look like?
So the first one I bought, it had a tenant. Then the second one I bought, we fixed it up, and I tried to do like a seller finance deal or rent to own deal. So I found a tenant, and then the third one, it was vacant. I tried to
Hmm.
fix it up, and that's the one I lost money on, because I didn't have the credit or the know how to find funding and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then my fourth deal, I bought a whole portfolio. So they all was occupied besides one. It was 11 of them, 10 of them was
Oh, wow.
occupied, and that's how I scale so quick.
Okay. All right. That was going to be my next question. How did you acquire so many properties so quickly? And then, okay, you bought a portfolio. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Absolutely. Uh, awesome. Well, you know, Donald, as we kind of come up on our time here, um, can you tell everybody, how can they get in touch with you if they're interested in working with you, and where can they get the book?
The book From Prison to Properties is available on Amazon.
Oh,
And
perfect.
if you want to work with me or contact me, my name is Donald Hinton on all platforms. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok,
Mhm.
YouTube, everything.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Donald, hey, again, I love your story. I think it's an excellent way to, or it's an excellent thing to be able to show people, hey, you can use real estate. You can come from prison, turn your life around, and man, just the fact that you were able to figure it all out on your own
Mhm.
and figure it out from prison, to get yourself started, that's just excellent. So thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate you coming on. And for our listeners out there, if you've got something of value from this podcast, please hit subscribe. We have got more interviews coming down the way all the time here, and we will see you all on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing